What's going on, everyone? This is Token Gaijin bringing you the first of a two-parter in a 2v2 with my friend Deathwraith. And Deathwraith is spawning over here as the purple toss. I am, of course, over here as the teal toss. We're against a Protoss Terran team, so let's see how we do. Now, this is going to be the first of a lot of games coming your way from me and Deathwraith. In real life, we're best friends, so we know each other for a really long time. And we play together on Scrubcraft all the time, so it's really nice to have him back in the game, having him take a break from some work to get to play with him again. But here we are, we're going to go with our standard build, and our standard playstyle is we are both Protoss. Sometimes I switched up and do Zerg, but I am better with Protoss. I'm still really rusty with Zerg since I came back to StarCraft. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 4-gate into Stalkers, and Deathwraith is actually going to do a 3-gate robo, and he's going to concentrate on getting out some, I believe he gets out Zealots and Immortals, but I'm not sure if that's what he does this match. I can't remember exactly, but that's usually like our basic strategy. So I'm starting off with just, the basic, my 10 pylon gateway into, double chronoed out probes. Brian's doing a 9 pylon, yeah, that's his real name, Brian, but he's doing a 9 pylon into a gateway. So, we're pretty doing things pretty standard. The Protoss over here, it looks like he's going gas first, which usually is an indication of Stalkers, but I don't really understand that build at all. I always want to get the gateway out, and if we had scouted better, we would have seen this, and I probably would have freaked out and thought, oh god, he's got proxy gateways, but he doesn't, so really don't have to worry about that. And the Terran is getting his barracks out a little late, but that's because he's probably going for... yeah, he's going for Marauders. He went for that early gas, which makes sense for the Terran because he wants to pump them out. So, we're getting up to the 3-minute mark. I do have my gateway out. I'm getting my Cyber Core out. I got my first thing of gas. Deathwraith over here is about the same as I am, and we're popping out those extra pylons, and those extra production is going to come out. Well, he's getting the extra pylon. I'm about to get one. And this has to be easy in my base. I'm like, bro, you gotta go. I don't like that shit. Don't bring that into my house. I've got my secondary pylon, and the reason why we're not walling off, and a lot of people always go, you should always wall off. There's no point against Terran and Protoss, really. As long as you have, like, vision. Yeah, like, see, I check over here to make sure they're not doing any crazy cannon rushes or some bullshit proxy. But, against Terran and Protoss, you don't really have to wall off as much. It's Zerg is what you really want to worry about. So, we really don't want to put our production in a position where it's just going to be destroyed. However, he is putting a pylon there to ensure that he does have some sight on the ramp. And I start busting out another assimilator, and I'm getting my Cyber Core's Warp Gate research out. I'm chronoing it out. He's also chronoing his out. He's got 2 Zealots. I've got nothing, and I know it's kind of risky to not have anything. Most people build Stalkers while you do this, but I like to just save up my stuff in 2v2 because... I don't know, it's just my preference. Around this time, around like the 4 to 5 minute mark, they're not going to push out with too much. Especially when most Terran are, he's going for Marauders, and most Terran do that, so it's really not that big of a deal that I have super early units. Brian's also, he's got like the 2 Zealots, and he's getting, I think, that's his Robo, it's going down. So yeah, we're really in the clear. We got a nice collection of gas and minerals coming out. I am getting some extra pylons out because I know I'm going to need them real soon. This is about to just... I need them for my push. I think I actually messed up a little bit ago because I don't have much gas. I think I took them off gas. I'm not sure about that, but... whatever. Maybe you'll notice it if when you were paying it up. Maybe I'll notice it when I watch the replay again. But anyway, I'm getting my warp gates out. You always need warp gates as Protoss. I mean, there's no reason not to get warp gate technology. And our opponents, well, he doesn't have warp gate tech coming out at all. He's getting blink, and it looks like a forge. I don't know why he's not getting the warp gate tech. Yeah, he doesn't even have a Cyber Core going down, and it looks like the Terran is going to push straight out Marauders. And so Brian is actually going to send out his observer. He's just pushing this thing out. I am just, sitting back, whatever, with Stalkers. Just, pumping out casually. And we're really not that too worried right now because we do have a nice amount of troops. They do the scan. And, oh, Yeah, if you're wondering what happened right there, he accidentally rallied his probes there, and they got stuck, and it was... You should have heard him on the mic. He was pissed off as all hell. But since they haven't pushed out yet, and they did just scan us, we're expecting an attack or something coming up. So I decided to go ahead and get my Twilight Council out, and just roll with, get the Blink upgrade, which is, pretty standard when you're doing this kind of play. And our opponents are actually going to push out soon, but they don't have many units at all. And also, the Protoss does not have Warp Gate. I do not understand why he does not have Warp Gate at all. I don't even think he has any upgrades. No, he does not have any upgrades at all. So the Forge, I mean, does he even have cannons? No, he doesn't even have any cannons, so I don't know what he's doing with that thing. He's just kind of sitting there. And so we see this coming. I have like this nice little mass of Stalkers, and I got my Blink coming out now. I was a little bit behind on Blink because I was trying to save up some Vespians so I could get some more Stalkers out because we saw the push coming. And we're about to hit him at the front. Now, you'll notice that Deathwraith has Zealot and Immortal, and he doesn't have as many troops, but the great thing about this composition is his... I have so many Stalkers, and he's got Zealots, so they're going to absorb a lot of the blows. And since their composition is Marauder Stalker, his Immortals are just going to wreck the opponent. So the Concussion Shell is really killing that Zealot, but it really doesn't matter. The Zealots are just there for fodder anyway. And we just decided to push him back. You don't poke our base and expect to get away with it scot-free. The Protoss on their team is expanding, but I don't think he still does not have Warp Gate. He is getting a shield upgrade, which that's odd. And the reason I said it's odd, and a lot of people, but shields are great. Shields are great. I'm not saying that it's a bad upgrade to get, because you always want to get shield upgrade. But when you know your opponent might push back, and you don't have that many units, I probably would have gone with the attack upgrade. But then again, of course, I probably would have gone out with Warp Gate tech as well, because that is like the bread and butter of the Protoss. So we decide that I'm gonna build my proxy pylon here, and we're just gonna start massing up. Death has a nice sizable chunk of Immortals now, and he's expanding off of this. I'm gonna prepare to expand off of this, but I don't even think I do, because they don't have anything when we push up here. Yeah, that's right. This game, I don't even really build my expansion because there's no need. Like, we come and hit this, and it's just like, it's game over. The Protoss doesn't have anything, and he's wasted a lot into his expansion. And they just have Marauders, and we have way too many Immortals for this contain. So, Death is going to go up the ramp first. He's going to lose an Immortal because I was dumb and didn't get there right away. But he's actually going to just start chugging away at their forces. And I misclicked, and I hit a pylon. I thought they were attacking his forces, but, that's going to be good for the Protoss anyway. So, Deathwraith, unfortunately, being a selfish little prick that I am, one of my forces to survive. He loses, like, everything but 2 Immortals. But it still really doesn't matter. We've won the game. I've just got too many Stalkers. I've already taken out way too many pylons. He doesn't have Warp Gate out, so he really can't get anything out fast enough. And the Terran, even though he does have a lot of production, he doesn't have any reactors. He just has these freaking tech labs, and so he can't get Marines out. And Marines actually would have, if he had gotten Marines out instead of just pure Marauders, he actually would have really done well. And he might have actually had some, headway on that person did. But I see that Protoss only has probes. He doesn't have any production, so I'm just like, you know what? I don't really need to kill all his probes off. I really don't care. If he rebuilds them, we've got too many forces anyway. So I just go for the Terran and help Deathwraith take it out. And yeah, that'll be the good game. And coming up is the second match of this series. And let's get this second match underway. Alright, so this is going to be an all-Protoss match. 2v2 Maximum Protoss Edition. And usually me and Deathwraith do the 3-gate Robo with the 4-gate Stalker build. But that's not really going to be the case now, because there's 2 other Protoss that are going to be fighting us. And they are probably going to, try to hit early on with a massive ball of Stalkers as well, or even just Zealot and maybe some Immortals. But if they hit with Zealot Immortal, a pure just Stalker ball from us will be good enough to hold them off, and hopefully we can get enough Stalkers out to push them back. Now in this game, even though it is somewhat short, these 2 Protoss do a really good job of pushing. They do hit us first, but we end up recovering really well. So we're just doing our standards builds. Deathwraith is doing the 9 pylon. I'm doing a 10 pylon. It's just preference. It really doesn't matter when your pylon goes down if you know how to adapt to it. And there are a lot of people out there go like, well, no, you should promote and do the 9 pylon, or you know, oh, 10 pylon's way more economic sound. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And the great thing about being Protoss is 9 pylon and 10 pylon. Even if you do one or the other, if you know how to adapt to them, they're really not as terrible for your build as opposed to some other races like Zerg and Terran have a little less relay. They have a little less leeway. That's the word I'm looking for when it comes to dropping their supply facility. So I'm just just standard stuff. Getting my gateway down, have my pylon out. Gonna get my my early ass molester. That's what I call my assimilators. My ass molester out. And Deathwraith is gonna do the same thing. He's got this little probe in, so Deathwraith decides to go poke around, see what he's doing, because you don't want him doing a proxy anything. And this is what he does. The little dickhole steals my gas. Yeah. Fuck you, dude. I hate when people do that, but what are you gonna do? I should have anticipated that and built fast gas, but I didn't. And so I still have my gas up over here. My ass molester is out, so I'm not too concerned. But his probe's just gonna run around and try to run away. And I'm just gonna have to adapt with it. That means I'm gonna get an early zealot out, which I usually don't do on a stalker push, but I do want to get this out because I don't want him just spying on me the entire match. So he comes over here and he keeps like trying to click away from my probe, but my probe is like out for vengeance. So here he comes. He's coming around. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna get you. But I just like, I'm just gonna go back to my base. Whatever. It's not worth it because Deathwraith got both of his assimilators up, and I start taking this one out with my zealot. So yeah, I'm still taking this out, and then I realize, oh crap, I need to build another pylon because I'm supply blocked, like the scrub that I am. And I start getting my warp gate out. Now our opponents they're getting zealot out, and it looks like, wow, they're a lot later on the cyber core. So that cheese really did hurt Matrix out because he doesn't have his cyber core down as fast as we did, and Pawn, I don't even know whatever his name is. It looks like fucking Lennox. He's also he looks like he's okay. But, yeah, Matrix is a little behind. He's a little chugging. So I'm still trying to get this ass molester out. I fucking hate these things when this happens. I'm still chronoing out my warp gates. I'm getting down more gateways so I can get ready to boost these out. Deathwraith is doing the same thing. He's chronoing out. He's got all 4 warp gates down at least. Well, not finished, but he's got them down, so he's ready to go. And I'm a little bit behind because of that zealot and the need to break that. But, not too concerned. And Deathwraith is actually building stalkers out early, which is probably better than what I'm doing. And you can see Matrix is at it yet again. He's doing the proxy pylon, so that means the rush is coming. They're going to try and rush us first. And yeah, it looks like he's got a stalker zealot, and he's got his 4 warp gates out, or his 4 gateways down. And Matrix is still like struggling behind. And that struggling is really not going to help him, because I think what ended up happening is his macro just suffered because he was paying too much attention to his little probe in here, trying to figure out what we were doing. And that wasted time. Like, it's good to scout, but like if you just keep running your probe around and paying attention to it, it's going to really, really, really hurt you. So I start getting my stalkers out because I finally have my gateway. Deathwraith and me both sense the push coming, so he gets some more zealots out, just kind of as just to have some troops out when they do push, because we know they're pushing soon. And yeah, we know that it's going to come, and we're going to wait for them to push. Now they do have a couple stalkers coming, and they're about to make their first push, but we have enough troops to easily sustain and hold them off. I am having a little bit of problem. I remember this game, I was having a little bit of problem with minerals because I was just delayed by that stupid ass molester steal, but whatever. We recover really hard, and we come back and dominate. So when you have little hiccups, never worry in StarCraft 2 because everyone has hiccups. As you can see, Matrix is having a ton of them, and his hiccups are worse than ours, and that's what's going to cost them the game. Now, we do have Deathwraith building pylons over here for vision, and here they are pushing up the ramp. They're trying to get us down, but we just let them come up. We use the high ground to our advantage, and we start single targeting the same stalkers. That's something you really want to take a note of in a 2v2 all Protoss match. If you are running with all stalkers, both of you both want to have you and your partner concentrate on fighting the same things usually. Now I'm trying to get these pylons out. I didn't see this other one down here, but I didn't want them reinforcing. I was trying to stop the reinforce. I see this down here, but I know it's too late, so I'm just like, alright, I'll start poking Stalkers with Deathwraith again, and we move back. So they do have more Stalkers, but we're going to be able to reinforce really quickly. I start poking back again, David starts poking back again. And the funny thing is it's just a dance. It's all it is just a dance. So you just got to make sure that you dance better than the other Protoss. So Deathwraith is actually doing pretty well. I keep trying to nuke that pylon. And this is where Matrix moves back a little too prematurely. He should have kept up the pressure. He would have been fine, and he probably would have taken out all of our Stalkers. But because he moved back on his opponent, I'm going to be able to take out this pylon and stop these troops from being made. So yeah, these reinforcements are gone. I knew he was going to reinforce there because these are Matrixes, not the other guys. So yeah, we go back up here. Deathwraith has more Stalkers than me, but I'm reinforcing because I sacrificed him to get Pawn's stupid pylon out. Matrix has 2 pylons, but, you know, I'm not really too concerned about him because of the 2 Protoss on our opponents, he's been misclicking and not moving his Stalkers as wisely. So, really, it's really making their team suffer that he's just kind of wasting them. So, I poke out, I come back up, and that's really what you have to do in a Stalker push. If you're the one getting attacked, make sure you use your ramps and the high ground to your advantage. Just keep poking out and try to hit all their proxies. If you can hit their proxies and you can put them in a situation where they have to go on the defensive and they're trying to dance back to save their units, you're in the clear. Because remember, you're closer to your production facilities, you're closer to everything else, so you have home turf advantage, utilize it. Because if you break their pylons, they have to run out, everything like that, those things just add up. And like Pawn, he's got to make his stupid pylons again, but we're really okay with that. I bring him over here just thinking maybe he might be trying to do some blink or nonsense, because you never really know with just all Stalkers. I don't know how much it's reinforced. I'm trying to chrono out some more Stalkers, but I mean, we've been trying to build in such a big battle, and it's been really hard to reinforce. And here they come up the ramp, but we have the better vision, and we have just about the same amount of force. And what's going to pay off for us in the end is that single targeting. We both target the same thing. So they decide, you know what, maybe we should cut our losses and move back, and that's exactly what they do. Now, the biggest mistake that these 2 made in this Stalker push, and one that I highly am going to recommend you don't do, is they built way too many pylons for this push that failed. And when they first tried to make their second push up this ramp and they saw it failed, they should have backed off. Because building these extra pylons, if they didn't make it up our ramp, they weren't ever going to make it up our ramp. And the worst part about this is they put a lot of their supply over here. Like, see, look, Pawn is now supply blocked because we killed the pylons over here. To make this push successful, they put all the supply they needed for troops over here near our base, and when they lost and they had to cut their losses, they had to start rebuilding their pylons. So we have the troop advantage. They were supply blocks, so they're still trying to recover from that, and we're just going to push out now because, you know, there's no point in waiting. We have this huge mass of Stalkers. They were pissing the hell out of us, just pushing into our base, poking our shit, and you know what? It's time to get some fucking vengeance up in here. So I'm going to build my proxy down here. And I like to build my proxy pylon down here in the middle of the ramp because we're going to go for the rocks. And on this map, this space is great because you start next to each other, but you have to watch these rocks. And most people don't after a big push. They're just like, oh, they're going to retaliate from the front here. And really, that's not what we're going to do. We're not going to make that mistake. So we did misclick over here because unlike on the other side right here, where there's like a little thing you can travel on, there's none on this side. So we misclicked, and we're going to go up here now. And they're going to spot this pylon, but I'm not really too concerned about my proxy because, look, they have a lot of Stalkers and everything, and they do have a lot of troops. But what's going to end up happening that's going to play in our favor is while they're just trying to waste all their time on this pylon, spreading out to kill it, they're not thinking, well, where the hell are their units? They just built a pylon here? That doesn't make any sense. And we're just going to come in here and bust up supply. Now, they're going to start coming out, and I misclicked, unfortunately, and I got a freaking sentry and 3 Stalkers about to just die to their ball, but it doesn't really matter because we're in Matrix's base and we've killed all of his pylons for production. He's supply blocked. He doesn't have the ability to pump out troops, and we're just going to whittle him down. I don't know why they were attacking the pylon. They should have just been attacking that. But yeah, Pawn is going to try to recover with this. He's getting out his zealots. He's like, oh god, need zealots. They're good against Stalkers, but I've got too many Stalkers. I'm not too worried. Deathwraith is actually fighting a massive ball of Stalkers, and I went for this. I wanted to get the pylon out of the robo away because I didn't want him to build Immortals. That would have been really, really bad. So Death decides, you know, I'm just going to come over here and chill with you and kill their production because even though they're chasing us, killing their production means they're not going to be able to recover at all, even if they kill our stalkers, because we can just keep building more and more and more because we have our gateways and everything else. And that's going to be the GG. And that is the Stalker Ball versus Stalker Ball and how to react to your opponent hitting you first with a Stalker Ball. Never, ever, 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 ever freak out when you get hit because you have another opponent, or not another opponent, you have another teammate, you can easily dance on your ramp, and you get that range that they don't have in that sight. So just use it to your advantage, play it smart. One of you just take one for the team and just notice which one they're single targeting and just keep hitting them as well. And you will just whittle down their stalkers a lot faster than they will yours because most likely your opponent might not be doing it in the lower leagues at scrub level. Anyway, that is it for this episode, which is a two-parter, but I do have 2 or 3 more coming out with Deathwraith in our 2v2 conquest. And actually, what's really, really nice about this 2v2 conquest and these matches is me and Deathwraith, when we last quit, we had a really hard time breaking out of bronze. We just became too stagnant, we played too much, and we just got stuck in the same builds. And actually, in the last 2 days, in all these games, we were able not only to break Bronze League, but we're now 2nd place in our league in Silver. So it's really nice that we're actually moving up. We're becoming far less scrubbier than we already were. I mean, we're still scrubs, but you know, we're getting better at it, and we're now starting to climb the ladder. But anyway, that's it for now, and thanks for joining me. And this is Token Gaijin signing out. Later, nerds.